Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And by Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Learn more at brome.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 991. A lot of hot weather around the country, and we know it's important to drink plenty of water in such conditions. What we don't hear a lot about is where to get that water so that we can avoid ingesting molecules other than H2O when we drink it. We will hear something about that on today's show, though, courtesy of our special expert guest, Plastic Pollution Coalition co-founder Lisa Boyle. Meanwhile, our friend Laura Erickson reminds us that birds have a tougher time surviving in the heat than they do in the cold. So providing water and shady shelter for birds is an especially good thing to do in hot weather. Well, we have audio postcards to listen to. First, from Linda Schwartz, reflecting on her visit to a special place in Austin, Texas. And then from Mike Timko with a warbler close encounter in Massachusetts. Hello, Linda.
Hey there, Ray and fellow birders. I was recently at the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Austin, Texas, and I got to do some birding there. I got to meet Athena, who is the massive great horned owl who had 2 chicks, and it was really exciting to see her feeding them. Now, I know her name is Athena, but I really think a more appropriate name would have been Big Mama, because she is a massive, massive bird with talons not to be messed with. Also there, so many wildflowers that if you're at all interested in learning about butterflies, this would be the place for you. Really quite an exciting trip, and I'm glad to share it with you, and I hope someday you can experience it as well.
Thank you, Linda. I think you've inspired many of us to visit that beautiful place, the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Austin, Texas, home of Athena, a.k.a. Big Mama. Meanwhile, Mike is with a much smaller but very colorful visitor up in the northeast corner of Massachusetts. Hey, Mike.
Hi, Ray. It's Mike Timko under the power lines on the Nat Smith Reservation in Andover, Massachusetts, listening to this prairie warbler singing. Hopefully he'll sing again. May have gotten too close. I'm only about 20 feet away. Oh, there he is. Love your show, Ray. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, and thank you, Mike, and thank you, Linda, for those audio postcards, which we love receiving. To make one, just grab your smartphone or borrow one or some other digital device and just make a little recording, 30 seconds or more, maybe, of birds that you're observing in your backyard or any place else. And just send the file to ray@talkingbirds.com with your audio postcard. That's ray@talkingbirds.com. And that kind of sounds like the Pillsbury Doughboy a little bit, doesn't it, if I remember? But that's actually our mystery bird. Preview of our mystery bird contest coming along later in the show, but we'll give you the info about it now so you'll be ready a little bit later when we do the actual contest. Our mystery bird is a small predator, 9 to 11 inches in length, with long legs and a short tail. It's mostly brown with spots on its back and bars on its buff white underparts. Usually seen on the ground in open country, year-round in the Southwest and Florida, and through most of the western states in summer. Our bird nests in a hole in the ground, which it sometimes creates by doing its own digging, but often with a hole dug by a prairie dog or a tortoise or an armadillo. Our mystery bird feeds on insects, small mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and scorpions. So clues there in the sound of our mystery bird, and wonderful prizes include the Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder. It's called that because it is a genuinely squirrel-proof feeder. And it's chew-proof as well. It even has a vented seed tray to keep the seed fresh and dry. Our other prize this morning, our newest Mystery Bird Contest prize, a 1-year subscription to the great new birding magazine, BWD. Founded in 1978 as Birdwatcher's Digest, and now back and better than ever. It's a year's subscription for our Mystery Bird Contest prize this morning. And something extra special. We'll have a special drawing in addition to our contest for some big prizes we'll be giving away on our 1000th show on August 25th. So if you win today on the Mystery Bird Contest or on any of the shows up until 1000, you'll be eligible for some extra special prizes as well. We are fortunate to salute Talking Birds ambassadors who help us spread the word about our show, and we thank this morning Jennifer Keller from Norwich, Vermont, the Green Mountain State. She has answered our call. She says, came across your show at 7:09 a.m. driving through Randolph, Vermont. Jennifer, thank you so much for your kind thoughts and for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. We are so appreciative of our ambassadors who help us spread the word about the show and about birds and conservation, which is the word we're trying to spread. Just go to talkingbirds.com and go to the Get Involved tab at the top of the page to join our ambassadors family. Still to come today, we'll learn why we should think twice, or maybe 3 or 4 times before drinking water from those nasty little single-use plastic bottles. Also today in a Let's Ask Mike segment, almost live from the archive, Mike O'Connor will describe some cool avian goings-on in his backyard. And up next, we'll channel our inner Johnny Horton and head north to Alaska to catch up with today's featured feathered friend. Last week's featured bird was from way down south. The rufous-backed robin is a native of Mexico that makes regular visits to the U.S. Southwest. This week, we've chosen one from way up north. It's a sea duck whose rather limited range includes the northern and western slopes of Alaska in breeding season and the southern coast of Alaska and the Aleutian Islands in winter. The bird is the smallest of the eiders, the Steller's eider. That's S-T-E-L-L-E-R. The male has a black back and collar, black and white wings, buff-colored underparts, a white head with a black eye patch and chin, and a dark patch on the back of the head. The female's body plumage is mostly brown with a blue speculum bordered in white, white underwings, and a white eye ring. On their wintering grounds, Steller's eiders sometimes dive for food, including mollusks and crustaceans, but often forage like dabbling ducks for worms, snails, seeds, and insect larvae. Conservation threats to this bird include overfishing, petroleum exploration and production, oil spills, entrapment in lost and discarded fishing gear, as well as hunting and possibly poisoning from lead shot. The Bird Conservation Network Partners in Flight includes it on their red watch list, indicating their highest category of concern. Our bird is named for German naturalist and explorer Georg Wilhelm Steller, who collected the first specimens near Kamchatka, Russia, in the mid-18th century. Steller's name will likely soon disappear from this bird's moniker, as it will also from that of the Steller's jay, as part of the movement to remove connections to people in the English common names of birds, with those changes occurring first in the U.S. and Canada. The Cornell Lab of Ornithology says that English names in other regions will continue to be determined in collaboration with or by other entities. The Steller's eider, Polysticta stelleri, Today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend. Lisa Boyle is an environmental attorney with expertise in policy solutions to plastic pollution. She's the co-author of California's state legislation to ban plastic microbeads from consumer personal care products, a law which served as the model for national legislation signed by President Obama in 2015. She's a co-founder of the Plastic Pollution Coalition, which works with global partners to create a world free of plastic pollution and its toxic impacts. And she joins us now to talk about one aspect of the fight against plastic pollution, plastic water bottles. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Ray.
It's wonderful to have you here and to learn about all your amazing work. You know, we've only done one sort of quasi-editorial here on our show, and it was at least a couple of years ago, and it was in the form of a question: is drinking bottled water a better idea than drinking tap water? Our answer back then was maybe not, but I think we've learned, and we're learning more from you, that the answer really is no. Drinking bottled water is not a better idea than drinking tap water. And you recently created a post, I think a Facebook post, that was headlined, "Plastic Bottled Water is Poison." And you go on to describe why. And I wonder if you would share some of the reasons here.
Sure. Well, your show is mostly about birds. So I'm going to start with birds.
Okay.
A very dear friend of mine, Chris Jordan, made a masterful documentary called Albatross. And this movie is about how the albatross feed their chicks with plastic pollution that they collect from the Great Pacific Gyre. And they feed this plastic to their babies who die of malnutrition. And this plastic waste that's in our ocean, it's not just in our ocean. That's a direct impact on the birds of the Midway Atoll. But this plastic pollution is really everywhere. It's now been discovered in raindrops, in the most remote parts of the earth where people do not live. It's in the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Plastic is everywhere. And one of the chief contributors of plastic pollution is plastic bottles. It's always one of the top polluters on Coastal Cleanup Day that we find on beaches. And in my over 30 years of working on plastic pollution policy, I've really seen what works and doesn't work in terms of trying to control plastic pollution. And really, it has to be controlled the same way as air pollution. And let me clarify that. You know, environmentalists have been told that we need to clean up plastic pollution from the beaches. And then some people said, oh, we need to clean it up from the oceans. But plastic pollution isn't a floating island in the middle of the ocean. Plastic pollution is more like a smog, just like air pollution. Once it's out past in the environment, there is absolutely no way to control it because it gets to be microplastics that are, and even nanoplastics. It's in our seafood. As I said, it's in our water cycle. It's been found in human sperm. Babies are born pre-polluted with plastic pollution. So the idea that we can capture this plastic once it's in our environment, and by the way, plastic has only ever been recycled in the single digit numbers, never even reached 10%. It's a myth that the fossil fuel industry, by the way, plastics are fossil fuels, solid fossil fuels. It's a myth. Recycling is a myth, just like the cleanup efforts are a fallacy to control plastic pollution. So that's why when we created Plastic Pollution Coalition, we decided to use the term plastic pollution in our title because before that, the term of art for scientists even, and of course journalists, was marine debris. Now, how innocuous does that sound? Who's afraid of marine debris? That could be coconut fronds, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the point is that once plastic gets in the environment, it gets into everything, and it's permanent waste forever. So why do I focus on plastic bottles? Because it's a really, really easy place to have a policy solution. It's one of the top ways that plastic gets into our environment. The most efficient, of course, is tap water because there's no polluting transportation. It comes directly to your tap. So it doesn't create the bottle to create plastic pollution. But in addition, it's been discovered now that bottled water is full of plastic pollution itself. Mm-hmm. The bottling process causes microplastics in the bottle so that the amount of plastic in the water it's astronomical compared to what you get out of your tap. And of course, you can put a filter on the tap. Mm-hmm. And the other crazy thing is that the majority of bottled water is just tap water in a plastic bottle. And the people who bottle it...
Pepsi and Coke distribute, the Dasani and Aquafina, I think they're both just from municipal water.
Exactly, Ray. So these people are geniuses because they just stop putting the sugar and the artificial color in and sell it, something you can get that's even cleaner from your tap. They put in plastic bottles that are full of plastic microfragments and leach estrogenic compounds from the plastic bottle into the water.
You wrote a paper recently for Tulane University, and in it you advocate for a return to the use of public water fountains.
Oh, yes, Ray. This is one of my missions. And you know what we're doing here in California? In Los Angeles, my partner at WeTap, by the way, WeTap.org, has an app, the WeTap app, that locates fountains around the globe. On your phone, you can find fountains and you can rate them. With my partner at WeTap, we worked with LADWP, with our water provider, to create a program to fund hydration stations around the city. So anybody who has a location for the public to access hydration stations, which basically means that you can refill your bottle, not like the old put your mouth on it. These are refill stations for your reusable bottle. You can get up to $10,000 to install one. We're trying to make LA a urban oasis, just like in the great days of ancient civilizations when water was one of the things that government provided. We're trying to get back into having water in the public forum.
We don't have a lot of time left, but I'm just thinking about that refill idea, refilling your bottle.
Yes.
At these stations. It occurred to me, though, that a lot of people, fortunately, moving away from single-use plastic bottles to refillable bottles, but a lot of those are plastic, are they not?
Some are, but there are many, many great reusable bottles like Clean Canteen that are made of steel, or you can get ones that are made from glass, which is what I prefer. Glass. I even use my old tomato sauce jars. That's, to me, the smartest thing you can do instead of paying for a bottle. Use your old tomato sauce jar. It's glass. Glass is non-reactive. It's cheap, and you can see through it to see if it's clean.
Good point, too. There are alternatives out there. It's just a matter of paying attention a little.
Yes.
I found a quote from you, Lisa, aimed at all of us consumers that said, please, please, please start to drink fresh tap water instead of old water that has been soaking in plastic made from chemicals. What a way to think about it that will make you think more.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you finally about your optimism level, Lisa. How much of all of this is breaking through to the public?
Well, something that we'd hoped for a long time, to see reusable water bottles become trendy, has actually happened.
The Stanley bottles.
Oh, Stanley, yes. Yes. And so there was a rush on them. They couldn't keep them in stock. And, that's just kind of silly because, as I said, you can use any old glass bottle you have that you've already used. But it makes me happy because, with Jennifer Aniston pitching Smart Water, which we like to call stupid water, it actually won an award for most fraudulent ad campaign because it's just tap water. And, you pay an exorbitant amount to drink it out of plastic bottles. Really, all they're selling is plastic.
Lisa Boyle is co-founder of the Plastic Pollution Coalition, an environmental attorney with expertise in policy solutions to plastic pollution. I want to give your website here, Lisa, because I know you have lots of wonderful information there for folks who would like to know more and for folks who'd like to take a deep dive. Let me make sure I get this correct. It's LisaKaasBoyle.com, and I'll spell that. Lisa is pretty easy, I think, L-I-S-A. Kaas is K-A-A-S. Boyle, B-O-Y-L-E.com. And we'll put a link to that on our website.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
And I wish we had more time, but we don't. Lisa, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your wonderful and inspiring work. And there's so much more to talk about on this. I hope you will come back and be our guest again sometime.
I would love that, Ray. Thank you so much.
Lisa Boyle here on Talking Birds. And we want to urge you to call in as soon as possible, especially today. We're way behind time. Our Mystery Bird contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. There's our mystery bird, a small predator, 9 to 11 inches in length, that nests in a hole in the ground. Feeds on insects, small mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and scorpions. That's our bird. What is that mystery bird? Tell us or take a guess, because no drawing or no correct answer means a drawing will determine our winner and a chance for some really special bonus prizes if you're our winner today. Here's the number. It's 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. Call us as soon as you can. 781-837-4900. Let's ask Mike, almost live from the archive in just 1 minute.
Welcome to a world where bird feeding is enjoyable for both you and your feathered friends. Introducing Squirrel Buster Bird Feeders by Brome. Our innovative feeders are designed to keep squirrels at bay, ensuring that your garden birds get their fair share. And the best part? We offer lifetime care for every feeder, making your purchase worry-free. Transform your garden into a bird paradise and keep it that way forever. Sorry, squirrels. It's just for the birds this time. Visit Brome.com, BROME.com, to discover our full range of Squirrel Buster feeders and join the Brome family today. Brome, where birds come first, and our commitment to you lasts a lifetime.
Down to Cape Cod now, location of the world-famous Birdwatchers General Store. That would be in Orleans on Cape Cod. And Mike O'Connor is there. We'll try to hear him above the din emanating from his backyard there. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Ray. Yeah, it's kind of a hectic scene here we got going on. The baby birds, I know we discussed this a few weeks ago. where we have a nest box full of great crested flycatchers. And so what I did is I put a little camera inside the box before they got there, and then I run it through the TV in the living room. And so now that the babies have hatched, we have 5 hungry babies. They look scary as heck. They're just all furry and blotchy and blind, and they're whacking their heads back and forth, and their mouths are open. And then the parents are bringing them food back and forth. And the interesting part is these things are small. They're like the size. I don't know if you can hear them, and they never stop talking, even at night. They just yapping the whole time. And the parents bring them in this food. Now, a few years ago, I had a nest box with chickadees in it, and they would bring these little 1-inch green inchworms and feed the babies. Well, these are flycatchers, and so they eat bugs that are considerably larger, and they're considerably larger than the babies themselves. I think they're mostly dragonflies, but they look like the Wright brothers plane compared to the birds, and they shove them in the baby bird's mouth, and they don't fit. So you would think they'd choke, but no, the mother hammers, like loading a musket. They're shoving the food down, and the wings are sticking out, and they eventually go down. It's kind of crazy. I'm glad I don't eat like that, although my kids do sometimes. But here we go.
Wow!
Can you hear that?
We can hear it loud and clear.
I'm afraid to get too close to the screen. I might get sucked in. And then she feeds them, and then the birds. This is my wife's impressed with this. After she feeds them, the bird kind of tips over a little bit and produces a little fecal sac, little bag of poop that the parents carry away. But in the first few days, the sacs weren't that big, and the mother would actually eat the sac on the spot. And my wife said, now that's a dedicated mother.
Yeah.
The energy you get out of a dragonfly, it's worth it. I might start eating them because they never calm down. They never get quiet, and they can't even see. Maybe if they saw what they were eating, they wouldn't be eating it in the first place.
And this is how many chicks again that you have there?
500. No, there's 5. It sounds like 500, doesn't it?
It kind of does, yeah.
That's 5, and the parents are able to keep them fed. And amazingly, these things look like nothing. I mean, like I said, they're like a chewed piece of gum. They're so creepy and gooey looking. And then 10 days from now, they're going to be free-flying full-grown birds. It's crazy, crazy cool.
I'll let you get back to the action, Mike.
All right, I'll let you know when they fly a week or 2 from now.
All right. Mike O'Connor down there at the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. We can still hear them. See you next week, Mike.
Okay.
We're back here one more time to the Mystery Bird Contest and those beautiful prizes from Brome, the Squirrel Solution 150 feeder, and a year's subscription to the new BWD, founded in 1978 as Birdwatchers Digest, and now back and better than ever. 781-837-4900 is the number to call. We may have time for only one call here, and we have Terry from Marshfield, Massachusetts. Hello, Terry.
Hey, how are you, Ray?
Doing well, Terry. Thank you. What do you think? You heard our mystery bird clues and all that, perhaps?
I did, and I have a good guess, I think.
All right. Well, we'll see about that. Okay. What is it?
I believe it's a burrowing owl.
Yes, indeed. That was more than a guess. That was what we call a correct answer, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Yeah, we got to see them in Florida.
Oh, yes. They're all over the place. I've seen them around Naples, Florida, like sort of right, almost kind of downtown. Any vacant lot, it seems like, will host a burrowing owl. Terry, stay on the line, and Dave will get your info, and we'll send you those beautiful prizes.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Love your show.
Thank you, Terry. Correctly identifying the burrowing owl as our mystery bird. Next week, dedicated birders Jason Hall and Dexter Patterson will be here talking about their new Bird Joy podcast. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And by Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Learn more at brome.com.